and welcome to AmErica show. I am Erica. Greetings, season's greetings, and happy holidays to you. Today I'm going to interview two very talented, accomplished, and charismatic people of our community, Mr. David Imamura and Mr. Judah Holstein. And happy holidays to you. Feliz Navidad, Feliz Navidad, Feliz Navidad, Prospero año y felicidad. I want to wish you a Merry Christmas. I want to wish you a Happy Hanukkah. I want to wish you a Merry Christmas from the bottom of my heart. So I'm going to introduce David Imamura first. David Imamura is a New York-based attorney and elected official. He currently serves as majority leader of the Westchester County Board of Legislators, representing District 12. He is the first Asian American to serve on the Westchester County Board of Legislators. His leadership in environmental and voting rights issues a focus on equity and sustainability. As majority leader, he is a central figure in shaping legislative priorities in Westchester County. Judah Holstein is a Westchester County legislator representing District 10, which is Eastchester, New Rochelle, and Tuckahoe. He has a background in software development, community service, and local education advocacy, and is centrally serving on the Westchester County Board of Legislators. As a trustee on the Eastchester School Board, he emphasized responsible budgeting and quality public education. His company, Miracom Computer Corp., provides software solutions for the newspaper industry. He is active in Westchester's Jewish community and co-founded Westchester Jewish Democrats. So David, welcome to my show,
Thanks
AmErica
so much
show.
for having me, Erica. It's really great to be here.
So if you can kindly introduce yourself to our beautiful audience.
Well, I think you covered it all, Erica. So my name is David Imamura. I'm a Westchester County legislator. So I do represent the town of Greenburgh. I represent, and in terms of the villages, I represent Irvington, Dobbsbury, Ardsley, and Hastings, as well as Edgemont and Hartsdale. But it's a real pleasure to serve the community that I grew up in. I grew up in Irvington. And it's a real pleasure to be with people just like you, Erica, who care about our community and care about the holidays, which is why we're here.
Thank you so much. So I request Judah Holstein to say a few words to our audience.
Thank you, Erica. So I am just very glad to be here. I am, as you said, Judah Holstein. I am the legislator for District 10, which is Eastchester, Tuckahoe, and New Rochelle. I grew up in New Rochelle, but currently live in Eastchester. And to your point, I grew up actually as an Orthodox Jew, so glad to be able to bring that experience to the board, even though I don't necessarily practice the same way I did when I was growing up. But to bring that to the community and to advocate for everybody who needs that to be advocated for in the community. And so grateful to have you invited me to be here. Thank you.
So David, it's so nice to have you in my show. So what does Christmas mean to you, and how do you celebrate it?
Well, so I would be the first to say that I am more of an agnostic than I am a practicing Christian, right? I wasn't raised with any religious faith in my household. But my wife is Catholic, and I was married in a Catholic ceremony, and we do go to Mass on Christmas Eve. And so what stands out to me about Christmas is the spirit of giving, right? This is the moment where we give to those who do not have, right? And so, I was thrilled yesterday to go to the Westchester Medical Center and help load 1,000 toys that the Westchester Medical Center was giving to, kids who are in need, right? And I think that is something that we must all recognize during the holiday season, is those who are less fortunate than us and those who we must, uplift, right? And give the spirit of Christmas to.
Great. Okay, Judah, so what does Hanukkah mean to you, and how do you celebrate it?
So thank you. So what I would say is Hanukkah is an interesting holiday. I just recently heard Rachel Goldberg-Poland, who speak about the fact that Hanukkah is the luckiest holiday, because in the Jewish calendar of holidays, it's actually not the most significant holiday in the Jewish calendar. Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, Passover, many of these holidays that are much more biblically directed take higher priority. But because of its proximity to Christmas, it has become so much more than what it started out to be. The story of Hanukkah celebrates an instance when the Greek Empire was attempting to take over the area of Judea, and the protagonist of the time was actually Judah Maccabee, whose father was Mattatyahu Matthias, or Matthew. And they were able to reclaim Judea and the temple and make it holy and save the day, if you will, which led to the 8 days of light that they only had enough oil for one day to light the menorah in the temple, and it lasted 8 days. So for me, that reclamation of the Jewish identity and the spiritual identity and that expression of that and the lights and the spreading of the word of our being and of our importance in the world is a very important part of that message.
That's a great answer. So David, back to you. What is your favorite Christmas carol? And do you attend a midnight mass?
Well, so I was just saying that I go with my in-laws, and we'll see how my 4-year-old and my 18-month-old do with midnight mass this year. But in terms of favorite Christmas carols, I would say I'm boring and I like Jingle Bells. I think that it's definitely one of my favorites, and though I also, when I was a little kid, really loved Charlie Brown's Christmas. So I liked Hark the Herald Angels Sing from that one as well.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So Judah, do you relate Hanukkah, the festival of lights, with any other religion? If so, then how?
Sure. It's interesting. So as I said, the celebration of Hanukkah is more about the reclamation of the temple, and the lights is actually not the most significant matter of Hanukkah. And we find that when you celebrate holidays in the winter, when you didn't have electricity, light might have been very important. And so as a result, I think we find multiple religions and multiple cultures that have celebrations of lights. Of course, Christmas, the lights are so important, as it has become such an important part of the Christmas holiday, even though Christmas technically is a celebration that has not a lot to do with light either. And then Diwali, the Indian celebration, the Indian festival of lights, is also a festival of lights at a time when bringing light from the darkness is so important, and it should guide us through the darkness. So that is the connection I make with this festival to other light festivals.
Okay, so back to David. What is the significance of the green and red colors of Christmas?
Well, so my memory, helped out by you, Gurji, right, was that green comes from the evergreens, right, and the pines coming from as part of the holidays, right. My 4-year-old was asking, why do some trees still have leaves right now and others don't? And then conveniently it snowed. I said, look how easy it is for the snow to come off of the evergreen trees relative to ones with leaves, right. And then the red, right, is the blood of Christ. But I think that another part, what I initially thought, right, and what I think many people think of, is the red berries that go with like holly plants and stuff.
And also it symbolizes joy and vibrance. Right. That's great. Okay, Judah, back to you. How is Hanukkah celebrated across the world, especially in Israel?
So there are a few things. First, I should point out, very well articulated, the word Hanukkah is sometimes spelled differently because it uses the letter Chet, Hanukkah, which doesn't have an English corresponding letter. So some people spell it with an H and some people spell it with a CH, but it is a unique letter in the Hebrew language. And the way it's celebrated worldwide is, again, every night for 8 nights, we light an extra candle to have even more light shed. It's also that we play a game of dreidel, which is sort of a top with 4 letters, and in Hebrew it's Nes Gadol Haya Sham, which means there was a great miracle that happened there. We celebrate that way in America. In Israel, they actually have different letters on the dreidel. They have Nes Gadol Haya Po. There was a great miracle that happened here because it represents the notion of the miracle that happened there. And as you mentioned, I did just come back from a trip to Israel, which was very, very meaningful to me for so many reasons. It was my 15th visit to Israel, but it was the last time I had been there was in 1992. A lot has changed, but a lot has stayed the same. It is a very historic site, and it was really profound to see how much of the history has been preserved even after my long absence. And that was very, very meaningful to me, especially even though it was a little before Hanukkah, as Hanukkah was approaching.
Thank you so much. Okay, so David, what is your message to the community for this Christmas? How can you build up an even better community?
Yeah, I mean, I was talking about this before, right? It's the spirit of giving, is remembering that there are those out there who are less fortunate than ourselves, and we must do everything we can to help them. And that's not just true in terms of private giving, that's not just true in terms of your religious institution, that's true of our government policies as well, right? And I think now more than ever, when we have a federal government that like weaponizes suffering, right? We need to remember this both in our personal lives and in our politics, right? So that's what I would say is at a time when the federal government was cutting SNAP, right? Cutting food stamps for the least fortunate, we must stand up for those who cannot stand up for themselves.
That's right. Okay, Judah, how was your trip to Israel? What is your message to the community for this Hanukkah? How can you build up an even better community?
So I guess I jumped the gun a little bit. I talked a little bit about the trip to Israel already. It was really profound experience. Again, throughout the world, one of the things that happens that's unique about Hanukkah is that the community lights these menorahs, not just in their house, but even if you light it in your house, they put it in the window. If a lot of the Chabad organizations, they will actually, and you can see it all through the neighborhood. I know in Greenberg they had one, I know in Eastchester and Irvington all had lighting ceremonies where the message of the light was shed throughout the town. It wasn't just something you do in your home. And so my message of that is that that's what we should be standing for. We should be proud and loud of the light that we bring to the darkness at a time when there is so many terrible things going on throughout the world, when we don't have peace yet, where we all strive for peace. We should be, and then there is darkness, and when there is chaos, and when there are horrible things happening around us, both with respect to governments here and abroad, we should be finding ways to bring the light to everyone, be proud of who we are, whether that's as a Jew or whatever, as a Christian, as any, whatever your identity is, we all should be proud of our identity, and we should respect each other's identities, and we should find a path to show the light and to respect each other's light and to celebrate it with joy.
Thank you so much. I more than appreciate from the bottom of my heart, and as my closing statement, we should keep spreading love, and what is inevitable are peace, unity, harmony, and of course we have to keep spreading love for a better community and beyond. And I'm very thankful to Mr. Paul Feiner, who is the town supervisor. I'm also very thankful to the beautiful camera crew and the engineers whose relentless effort always makes these shows so successful. Thank you so much.